No, I like weekends better.
Who doesn't, right? Well, I I particularly don't like Mondays, but I don't hate it that much, but I think I'm hating it today so much.
Why?
Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not feeling too well today.
Oh, why?
um I started having my period last Saturday,
Uh-huh.
and it's so heavy and I feel sick, but I'm good. Don't worry.
Okay.
What about you? How was yours?
Uh, you mean
Your
how?
weekend,
Oh,
sorry,
my
your weekend.
weekend?
Not your period, your weekend. How was your weekend?
Mm, my parents left my apartment last Saturday morning. So,
Okay.
and I took care of my parents while
Mm,
they were staying, yeah, at my
mm,
place. So I
mm,
was a little bit tired. So
mm,
usually during the week, usually during weekends, uh,
mm,
I mean, my family
mm,
goes, my family go out, but my husband and I were tired, so
mm,
we didn't think
mm,
of yeah going out. So we
mm,
stayed at home, and I'm a little bit sorry for
mm.
my daughter and son.
Yes.
My son actually he is okay because he went out to play with his friends, but
Yes.
my daughter is young to go out alone.
Yes.
So yeah, but yeah, she didn't go out during yeah, the
Oh,
weekend, I mean.
she she must have been very bored.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. But
Oh.
the
Mm,
good part is my husband
mm,
is really good at playing with kids. So
mm, mm,
we I got her a new toy for her birthday, so she
yes.
was into it and she really
Mm,
enjoyed playing with that toy. So I asked
mm,
her, "Do you want to go out?" And but she said, I want to play with this toy." So
yes.
maybe yeah, it was okay. I want to believe so.
Mm. Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, oh, how was her small celebration for her birthday?
Yeah. We you mean what do you mean?
I mean, how was it? How did it
Yeah,
go?
it was good, but it
Oh,
was
okay.
very short. Yeah,
Very.
like we sang birthday song together, and
Yes.
she tried to cut the cake, and yeah, and before yeah she cut the cake, she blew out the candles. Yeah,
Yes.
and my father gave her some money, and yeah, she got a present from yeah my husband and me, and
Yes.
my son also yeah prepared a present for
Uh-huh.
her sister, his sister.
That's so sweet. What present?
Actually it was um a new toy.
Uh-huh.
He got it uh, when he got it for his last year's birthday. He got it. He
Mm-hmm.
received it when it was
Mm-hmm.
his birthday last year. Mhm. So it was
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
a small toy.
Okay. How?
If
Oh.
uh-huh.
Oh.
Okay, so
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
uh,
Continue.
so it is a box, and if we
Uh-huh.
click the button, inside the box there is a cat, and yeah, uh, the cat comes out of the box, and then uh, yeah. If we put a coin around a certain place, then we click the
Mm-hmm.
button, and then a cat
Mm-hmm.
comes out of the box and try to catch that coin. So it's a kind of uh,
Oh.
what's that? I forgot the word. Safe.
Oh, a say a piggy bank
Yeah,
informally.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Piggy. bank. Yeah.
Piggy bank. That's nice. I did see something like that on YouTube, but it's not a cat coming out. Instead, it's like a monster.
A monster.
Of course, your daughter wouldn't like that, but I think the concept of a cat is very cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, oh, did your in-laws come over too for her
No,
birthday?
no, didn't I tell you we don't keep in touch with uh
Oh,
yeah,
no, no, no.
yeah,
You did
parents.
tell me about that, Elia, but I was just, curious if they greeted her at least. Of course,
No,
they
no.
wouldn't forget her birthday.
Oh no, actually they don't. Uh, I believe they don't remember their my daughter's birthday because when she was born, they didn't visit my husband and me because at that time their relationship was not that good. So I don't think they remember my daughter's
Mm-mm.
birthday.
Mm, I see. I wouldn't make any comments on that.
Okay.
But that's very sad. If
Really?
yes, well, I've never experienced having grandparents. Like every one of them was dead before I was
Mm.
born. So, but if I had grandparents and they forgot my birthday, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, but my daughter never,
Met
um,
them?
yeah, met them.
Oh.
So yeah, I think yeah, it's okay.
Okay. All right. Anyway, Elia, so today we're going to go straight to the questions for
Okay.
lesson number 2. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Read question number 1
Okay.
first.
Tell me
Yeah.
about a neighbor you have. What does he or she look like? Are you in good
Mm-mm.
terms? What
Mm-mm.
reasons do you have?
Okay.
Um, so in my apartment building, there
Mhm.
on the same floor there are
Mhm.
There are
Mm-mm.
two households.
Mhm.
So I meet them from time to time when I
Mm-mm.
use an elevator.
Mm-mm.
So they have a young uh, uh, after I moved into this apartment,
Mhm.
they had a baby.
Mhm.
So he yeah he was really young, and so my neighbor I mean my neighbor maybe think it is really hard to take care of a baby, so
Mm-mm.
her mother-in-law and her mother and mother-in-law visit her apartment very
Mm-mm.
often.
Mhm. Mhm.
And yeah, okay, I lost.
It's
Okay,
okay. It's
what
okay.
so actually I wanted to say what I wanted to say is um first our relationship was not that bad, and still yeah it was okay, but uh her mother, uh, I don't know her mother is a farmer or not, but she brought a sack of onions, and
Uh-huh.
then it's really big, and
Uh-huh.
there is a corridor. There are a
Mhm.
there are some how can I say there are rooms where we can share between um, me and my neighbor.
Okay.
So
Mm.
it's kind of a hallway or
A common room?
a common
Yes, a
place. I
common
mean,
room.
common room.
Mm.
Can I
Yes.
call it common room?
Yes, it's better. Common room.
Okay.
Is it does it connect both your apartments?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, a common room. Or
So
probably a corridor?
yeah, corridor,
Yeah.
corridor. So,
Uh-uh.
but can we call it a common room?
Yes.
So,
Uh,
okay. So there are a common room, and
mm-mm.
her mother brought a sack of onions.
Mhm.
So, but it was a really hot summer, and
Mhm.
I didn't want to see a sack of onions when I went out, went out of my
Oh.
door, and since it was really really hot this summer, so I I thought it would be rotten in the near future. So
Uh-huh.
I visited them, and
Mm-mm.
then I
Mm-mm.
asked her
Mm-mm.
to bring it into her
Mm-hmm.
apartment because it's
Okay.
a common room. But
Yes, yes.
she said her mother did it, and
Mm-mm.
she would ask her mother about it. But actually,
Mm-mm.
I could understand it because her mother didn't live with her. Actually,
Mm-mm.
she visited her apartment from
Mm-hmm.
time to time. So
Mm-mm.
I think it is a common room. So if if her neighbor asked her to clean it away, then I think it's her job or responsibility to take care of it. But
Mm-mm.
anyway, while I was working in my apartment, her mother visited us, and my husband uh, could talk to her, but
Mm-hmm.
her mother said, uh, since we also brought a bicycle or other things, why can I put a sack of onions on the
Mm-mm.
corridor? So
Mm-mm.
my husband, I don't know how my husband responded to it, but actually he didn't care about it. But
Mm-mm.
since I didn't like it, my husband said it's better to talk with um, my wife. So
Mm-mm.
maybe my wife is going to visit you later after she finished her work. So.
Oh, sorry, Elia. Before you continue, you meant it's better for your neighbor to talk to you
Mhm.
instead, oh,
Uh,
of your husband.
my husband said, since I was working at that time,
Uh-huh.
so and he didn't want to uh, have an argue with her, um, my neighbor's mother.
Mm-mm.
So if my wife
Mm-mm.
finishes her work, then
Mm-hmm.
she is going to visit you. So
Uh,
I mean, he said, I can. It's better for me to deal with this situation.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know this is not funny, but
Mm-hmm.
I it got me smiling because usually husbands husbands don't like to argue with
Mm-hmm.
over these types of things, so they usually let their wives do the talking,
Mm-hmm.
usually for neighbors. Okay, I thought it was only common here in the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
but okay, it is in your country too. Okay, continue, sorry.
So next day, actually after I finished my work, it was too late, so I
Mhm.
couldn't go to their place. So
Mhm.
next day I visited them, but
Mhm.
I knocked on the door, but they
Mhm.
didn't get the door.
Mhm.
So yeah, I just let them um, leave
Mhm.
a sack of onions
Mhm.
on in a common room.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
even after 1 month,
Mhm.
they didn't use onions that much.
Mhm.
There were still uh, third there were still 3/4 of onions on the
Mhm.
corridor. So
Corridor, yeah.
corridor, corridor.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
It's correct, correct.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
so when I had a chance to the apartment, what's that? I forgot the word. Oh, what's that? Management office. My
Mhm.
apartment management office, and
Mhm.
then I talked about it to a person
Mhm.
who was working there,
Mhm.
and she said that she will, yeah, she she is she since it had been 1 month,
Mhm.
um
Mhm.
yeah, that
Mhm.
the a sack of onions were
Mhm.
on the corridor. So
Mhm.
she was going to deal with it. So next
Mm-mm.
day I checked it. Um, the these onions were gone.
Mm-mm.
But later I found out if I go down one several steps, there are
Mm-mm.
also a certain room. So her mother
Yes.
moved it to, yeah, it moved the onions on that place.
Okay.
So
What did you do after?
but actually, if I don't go out uh,
Mm-mm.
to that place, I can see onions, so it's okay. So
Mm-mm.
I didn't, yeah, tell them anything anymore, and
Mm-mm.
but I was a little bit, how can I say, upset because
Mm-mm.
um, it's common room. Then
Mm-mm.
their neighbor, if their neighbor don't doesn't like it, then they have to take care of it. But they
Mm-mm.
ignore our uh, complain or
Yeah, yeah, yes.
yeah. So anyway, when we meet our neighbors, we say hello to each other, but I don't like my neighbor.
Oh no, okay. I hope the feelings aren't mutual, or do you think they also talk about you behind closed doors?
I don't know. Maybe they could
Who?
because I also bring my belongings, I mean bicycles or other things on the corridor, but
Mm-mm.
I'm just to complain about their things. So,
Mm-mm.
but my worries are uh, yeah, it's a food, so it can
Mm-hmm.
be rotten. So if it is
Yes.
not food, they also brought other things. I
Mm-mm.
think it's okay, but
Mm-mm.
something we can um, smell
Mm-mm.
or yeah or yeah yeah those things. Yeah,
Oh.
I don't like it.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so it was the smell you were bothered about in the first place.
Uh,
The smell of the sack of onions?
A little bit. I don't know it is
Mm.
from onions or other things, but
Mm-mm.
maybe I took care of onions too much. That's why
Mm-mm.
I thought could smell something, but I'm not 100. I'm not sure 100%. It came
Mm-mm.
from the onions.
Mm-mm. Okay, okay. Well, I don't like the smell of onions too. They're a bit too strong,
Mhm.
a bit too musky, a bit too pungent for my nose. Like
Mhm.
whenever I smell onions, even if they're not cut yet, my eyes get a bit watery. Yes. Okay. But now there, like you said, you do say hello to each other, but there's still an aura of awkwardness, I guess, when when you meet each other on the corridor. Okay.
Mhm.
But she doesn't bother you like in other ways, does she? Or her
Mm,
mother?
her mother, maybe. She doesn't
Maybe.
want to take any responsibility for this incident.
Yes.
Maybe her mother uh, doesn't agree with me. And
Mm-mm.
actually, they have a baby and they have a stroller, but they
Mm-hmm.
didn't bring out the stroller. That's
Mm-mm.
the thing I can understand them because a stroller is much bigger than a sack of onions, but they
Mm-mm.
didn't want to keep onions
Mm-mm.
in their place because
Mm-mm.
it smells.
Mm-mm.
So, but yeah, so if they are really um, if they don't have enough room to
Mm-hmm.
keep something,
Mm-hmm.
then keep onions, then I think
Mm-hmm.
it's better to take their stroller out and then bring onions back to their place. But yes, maybe my neighbor
Mm-hmm.
doesn't like onions. Maybe she is against her mother, because her mother, she explained her mother brought it in her place. So
I
I think
see.
it's her mother's decision. And
Uh-huh.
her mother said, "Okay, I will take care of it. You don't take care about it." So maybe she doesn't, yeah, bother to, yeah, think of it.
Mm-mm-mm. Okay. From what you just said, I reckon that you had a lot of time to think about it. But it's true, you're just being logical. Like, if they're worried about the space, then why don't they take out the stroller or the bigger things?
Hmm.
Was that the reason? Okay, was that the reason they told you why they put the onions there?
No, they
Because
did.
they had.
Hmm.
Oh,
They,
sorry. Because.
yeah, yeah. They said, there are not enough room in
Mm,
their place. That's why
mm, mm,
they take it out.
mm, mm. Okay.
And actually, we also have the same sack of onions at my place, in my place.
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to take it out because I already, yeah, know it would be smelly. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to make any trouble with my neighbors. But
Yes.
yeah, they did it.
Yes. I know you were just being very considerate. Probably not just because of you, but for other people who pass through the hallway or the corridor. Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, you did it for a good reason. So I hope you don't feel a bit guilty about that. Did you feel guilty at all?
Yeah, I don't feel guilty, but I'm a little bit irritated. I'm irritated for their actions.
Mm, I see, I see. Okay, all right. Anyway, number three. Okay, please read the question.
Are you an active member of your neighborhood? Do you join community activities like community parties and programs? Why or why not?
Mm-mm,
I'm not an active member, but
mm-mm,
there are a lot of events and festivals in my
mm-mm,
neighborhood, and my daughter and my kids are young, so we want
mm-mm,
to participate in
mm-mm,
um, many events or activities. So
mm-mm,
my husband tried to search uh, what kind of events there are in my neighborhood, and we
mm-mm,
try to participate in any events or
mm-mm,
festivals.
mm-mm. Okay, okay. When was the last time you and your husband participated in one? Can you tell me about it?
Okay, there was an walking festival or event.
Mm-hmm.
It was how can I say? Uh, okay, wait first. It is in charge of a school which my son is going to, and I
Mm-hmm.
got a notice from my son's school,
Mm-mm.
and so uh, participants would be
Mm-mm.
I mean, one of the participants
Mm-mm.
would be a student
Mm-mm.
from my son's school. So if there
Okay.
is no one who go to that
Mm-mm.
school, they can't participate in that festival. So
Mm-hmm.
we it's very simple. It was a very
Mm-hmm.
simple festival. We walk
Mm-hmm.
for 2 kilometers together, and
Oh.
then 2 or 4, I don't remember exactly. And then after that,
Mm-mm.
they had um, games like OX quiz, or
Mm-mm.
and they try to find a treasure in that
Mm-mm.
place. So they got some prizes. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So after it lasted for 3 hours, and then yeah, at the end of the festival,
Mm-mm.
actually in the beginning of the festival, we
Mm-mm.
got a number. I mean, how can I say? There is a paper, a small paper, and on that
Mm-mm.
paper there a number, a certain number is written. So at
Mm-mm.
the end of the festival, they picked out that a certain number, and then we can
Mm-mm.
get prizes. we could get
Mm.
prizes. So
Mm.
yeah, that's all.
Okay, okay. So, aside from these school activities, though, do you think it's important for people to join community activities? Is it necessary?
Uh, to get a good, uh, I don't think it is necessary
Mhm.
to get a good relationship with my
Mhm.
neighbors, but the reason I participate in those events is for my family. Just to be, I need some activities to kill
Mhm.
time during weekends.
Wow, okay. That was very straightforward. Although I do understand your reasons because if I had neighbors, I wouldn't always talk to them as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a more of an introverted person outside of the office, so I don't usually talk to people. I don't even talk to my landlady who lives with me
Mm-hmm.
in my own apartment. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so um, okay, if you were to choose living in a house, okay, if you were to buy a new house, would you rather have it be in a place where there are a lot of neighbors or one that is isolated, one that has no neighbors at all, and why?
I don't care whether it has a lot of neighbors or not,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
if there are people who say hello to me first, then
Mhm.
I will definitely answer to them. I will
Mhm.
say hello to them.
Mhm.
But mm, yeah, I don't need that I have to be in good terms with my neighbors.
Mhm.
So if they ignore me, I will ignore them. And
Oh
if
no.
they are friendly to me, I will also be, yeah, friendly to them. So I don't
Mhm.
care about it. Actually, I don't. Yeah, I have some neighbors, uh, but they are my son's friends'
Uh huh.
mothers.
Uh huh.
But except for them, when I use the elevator and I
Mhm.
can um, meet some people, but
Yes.
I usually don't say hello to them first.
Mhm.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. And okay. Um. It's sorry. It was just the opposite of here. Okay. Usually in the Philippines, everyone knows everything about their neighbors. Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, in my community, if you're a newcomer,
Mm-hmm.
usually neighbors would gossip about you.
Mm-hmm.
So they have this like little spot, especially mothers. They have a little spot in the neighborhood where they meet at
Mm-hmm.
lunchtime or in the afternoon after doing the house chores.
Mm-hmm.
They meet there to gossip about new people around them. So
Mm-hmm.
they know everybody.
But
Okay.
I think, yeah, if it is a small town, then it is possible to know everybody. But my apartment complex is really big, so yeah,
Oh.
there are a lot of people. So I think
Mm-mm.
it's impossible to know everybody, because many people move in and move out every day, and
Mm.
then yeah. So I think, yeah, maybe you don't live in the apartment complex. Do you live in?
No, it's not a
Yeah.
complex. It's not a
Yeah.
complex. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm sorry our time is up now, Elia.
Yeah. Right.
But we'll continue with lesson number 3 tomorrow, okay? So be ready with some of your questions. Or do you have some more questions? Sorry.
Number three. Uh.
Uh-uh.
The,
Lesson 3, lesson
let's
3.
not say. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for your time and have a great Monday even though it's you don't really like it that much. I still do hope you find something productive and fun to do today. Okay, take
Okay.
care.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Take care. Okay.